Students will be required to wear face masks this year in indoor hallways, common areas, and small group settings. When your child goes into their classroom and when the teacher starts instructing for the day, they'll be allowed to take their mask off. When the students go to lunch, they'll wear their mask in the hallway. When they get into the cafeteria, they'll be allowed to take their mask off. If your child medically cannot tolerate a mask, we will need a doctor's note providing this information. Now, we understand the difficulties and the challenges this brings up, especially for our young children. We have to remember, we're looking out for not only the safety of our students, but also our staff. For the safety of our students and staff, the district health department has asked families to screen their students before sending them to school. The school will be sending home a screener agreement as well as a screener checklist to ensure that your student or students don't have any symptoms of COVID-19. I want to express the importance of this, and let's make it a daily procedure in our households. We continue to find ways to make sure our students are entering the building safely, and we'll continue to improve those ways throughout the year. Just like last year, our doors will open at 8:20. This year, we're going to stagger our buses upon their arrival. This will eliminate the number of students entering the building at one time. Again, this is something that we'll continue to look at and seek improvement on. This year, we developed a plan where we're going to release 2 grade levels at a time until all grade levels have been released. One grade level will be released using the Maple Street doors, and the other grade level will be released using the doors by the elementary office. First grade and kindergarten will be released out of the doors by the office, and second, third, and fourth will be using the doors on Maple Street. This will take around 5 minutes to release all the grade levels. Parents, this year, when we pick up our child or our children, let's please socially distance from other families. And when you have all of your children, let's find our way to our vehicles. Again, for the safety of our students and our staff, it is very important that we follow these procedures. There are a number of ways of why we decided to end the day earlier this year. The number one reason is for the health and safety of our students and staff. By making our specials virtual this year, eliminates our special teachers from seeing over hundreds of students per week, which if you had one student test positive for COVID-19, it would start spreading around because those special teachers see the entire student population. And this also gives our teachers a great deal of time to teach their English language arts and their math without any interruptions. And not to mention, this also allows our students to be in their face masks less often. And we're very excited to announce that we're going to be able to reach a certain number of students after our 1 o'clock dismissal for an additional hour remediation time, not only academically, but behaviorally as well. So we're excited for this opportunity this year. Again, to ensure the safety and health of our students and staff, our lunchtime is going to look drastically different this year. We're only going to have 1 grade level at a time in the multi-purpose room. While that 1 grade level is in the cafeteria, we're going to have each child around 6 feet apart, which would only be about 5 students per table. Students will have assigned seating with their class. And actually this year, students are going to have to pick from 2 choices this year, and the meals will be delivered to the child at their table. We are actually having some classes, actually 2 grade levels, that will be eating in their classroom. First grade will be in the classroom, and 4th grade will be in the classroom. Same thing, meals will be delivered to their room. And also, we're not having recess right after lunch this year. Recess will be before or sometime after their lunchtime. This will allow students to get a full 30 minutes to eat their lunch. And lastly, if your child is packing their lunch this year, we won't have a community tub where they would place their cold lunch into the tub when they finish their cold lunch. They will be walking their cold lunch back to the classroom when lunch is over. And one last thing, we're happy to announce that we have been accepted a grant where our entire student body has free lunch and breakfast this year. And we're very excited to announce that. And again, a lot of changes, but we feel that this is the best for our staff and our students. Our classroom layouts and procedures are going to be a little bit different this year. We're going to try to spread our desk out as far as possible, and we're going to have pretty strict cleaning and sanitizing throughout the day. Our students will be asked to use hand sanitizers upon their arrival coming into the classroom. Our teachers will show our students how to properly wash their hands and have frequent wash breaks throughout the day. We will be wiping down our individual desks throughout the day as well. Again, we want to do this for the health and safety of our students and staff. So it's going to be a little bit different this year, but that's okay. We are trying to make things safe here, and with your help and with the students' help, we will be successful. Another protocol this year that we're doing is we're not allowing students to use the drinking fountain. There are different fill stations throughout the building that students will be able to fill up their water bottles, as well as in the classrooms. So it's very important that we have a water bottle for all of our students. So parents, if you're able to give your student a water bottle, that'd be great. If not, the school will supply one for you. Again, we will not allow our students to use the drinking fountains, but we will be using the fill stations to fill the students' water bottles. Students will still get their recess this year. It's going to be a little bit different, but each grade level will have the playground to themselves, and it's either going to be in the morning or in the afternoon. And they'll get 20 minutes of recess, and students are not required to wear a face mask while outside on the playground. Students will continue to receive their specials throughout the year. Instead of going to their specials, all of our specials, gym, technology, art, music, and library, will be pushed out virtually through our Seesaw program for all students to do while at home. The school will supply any materials needed to complete any projects for our special classes. In the event if we have to close school due to COVID-19, we have a plan put in place already. It would be totally different than last spring. Last spring was an emergency plan where teachers literally had less than a day to prepare for that plan. Now we've had plenty of time to develop and come up with a strategic plan. So we'll share that plan with you in more detail at a later time. But at this I'm sure there's a lot of questions out there about what happens if my child has a fever and is sick, but it's not COVID-19. When can they come back to school? We're going to share that information as well as what happens if we do have a positive case. And we're going to share all of that to our families and to the community in a frequently asked question document, and we'll release that sometime soon. That way it's all in one page or multiple pages, whatever it takes, and it's there for families viewing. Your child's bus ride is going to look completely different this year. All buses at Manton schools will be equipped with sanitizing stations, and students will be required to sanitize their hands upon entry of the bus. The bus driver and students will be required to wear masks if medically feasible. Students will be assigned seats and seated with other family members if possible. The bus drivers will disinfect their bus and all equipment on it before and after every route. Weather permitting, windows will be left open while cleaning the bus and between trips. Windows will also be left open, weather permitting, while the bus is in motion. If a student becomes ill during the day, that student will not be allowed to ride the bus home. Parent pickup or other options will be made. If a bus driver becomes ill during the day, they will be replaced with another driver. Buses will have staggered release time at the beginning of the day in order for the social distancing as the students enter the building. And lastly, students will not allowed guest bus passes for this school year. Unfortunately this year, parents and guardians will not be allowed to enter our buildings. If you have a child that feels uneasy going into school, we have plenty of staff and teachers to assist with these children. If you have an arranged meeting with a teacher or the principal or anybody else in the school, parents will be required to screen as well as get their temperature checked before entering the school. Again, in order for the safety of our students and staff, parents and guardians will not be allowed to enter our buildings before, during, or after school hours. If families do decide to do the online program, we are going to make sure that everybody has everything they need in order for their child or their children to be successful at home. Once we have that date where you have to decide if you're going to do face-to-face instruction or online, we will get a hold of those families, bring them in, and again, make sure that they have everything the student needs in order for them to be successful. Again, for the safety and health of our students and staff, unfortunately, we will not be able to have an open house this year. All of our teachers and some of our staff are working hard of setting up an actual virtual tour of themselves and what their classroom is going to look like for you guys, the families and the students. And we'll be releasing those videos through Seesaw. All families will get their Seesaw information mailed to you, and we're hoping to have this all delivered in the mail at least a week before the start of the school year. And teachers are looking to release their virtual open houses a couple days prior to the first day of school. Without a doubt, this year is going to be a challenge. And there's going to be more things that we are going to ask of you, the parents and guardians, to make sure that your children or your child is ready for school this year. In your package, you'll get a supply list of some of the recommended things that we are asking for all of our K through 4 students. And there's going to be some other things that you didn't see before in the past, like these will be backpack tags that we would like for families to attach to the child's backpack. For the main reason is the first couple of weeks to make sure that if we see a student that is unsure where they are heading, we'll be able to assist them and make sure they get to the right spot. And we will be sending updates through our Facebook page up to the first day of school of all the different things a parent or a guardian would need to do in order to be prepared for the school year. And I know it's going to be a challenge for all of us, and I look forward to working with not only the students and staff this year, but you and as well as the community members. Thank you so much, and of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me.